With me is Aradict of Brute Squad fame.
Hello.
The team captain. And we do have the Season 6 Championship semifinals for you tonight. And I'm very excited to cast it.
Yeah, it should be, for all intents and purposes, it should be an excellent matchup between these two teams. We were just discussing, but the record may be 3-1 in favor of Arkane, but I don't think that tells the whole story, though, does it?
I don't think so either, and I posted a little bit about this on the forums, but the idea is that KCS has only fielded their A lineup versus Stars a couple of times this season. That did not include the last match where Stars won fairly handily. Their Star lineup did show up in the rematch. Merilith even took off work for that night, and it paid off for him.
Yeah.
So we do have Card Shark's A lineup tonight, and we do have Stars A lineup, or what is often perceived as such since Aslan Kid left the team. Who are you going to root for? Just out of curiosity.
That's a tough one. You're putting me on the spot.
I am, but wing it.
Well, I think the diplomatic side of me says that I'm just rooting for a good game that I would like to cast impartially. But no, I've got more of a soft spot for KCS than I do for Arkane. So I'll silently root for KCS, I guess here. How about you?
I believe that Stars has a mechanical advantage to some extent. It's hard to make this kind of call because there's such disparate teams. But yeah, I'm rooting for KCS, to be honest. I don't have a preference as far as who I fight in finals. That's not what is driving me to root for it. I just have always liked the underdog.
Exactly, right? I mean, it's a more compelling story.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed. And we are off. The Charmies are getting geared out here. Bodrum has not made a Draco yet. He's trying, but he hasn't gotten it up yet.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well for the other team when he gets it on the first or second try. That gives him.
Yeah. Bodrum does get raked, which is essentially what that's going to do is stop focus damage on Grendel.
Right. Yeah, Bodrum being a large part of that with his massive acid blasts.
And the cones are coming out here. I have not seen Merilith go for the Holy Smite yet. He may be blind, or I may have just missed it.
There's the E-Drain onto the bony skeleton. Not sure
that's just blind E-Draining because Bodrum is raked. So he's trying drains, but he's not hitting anything. Kimpaz is getting weapon stunned by Grendel, and he does dip into yellow very quickly there.
He does, yeah.
Holy Smite does miss on Kimpaz, so that's going to give Kimpaz 10 minutes to unload his cone damage, ultimately. That was an E-Drain. What was that on? It does hit Slann, but not a big deal, other than flash movement.
No, and if Slann has healthy, that's not going to end up being a big deal for him.
Yeah, and he almost certainly does. Kimpaz and Azzure both taking a lot of damage here. Tyrcell did get cursed. Oh, he does get E-Drained as well by Bodrum. That is big, however. He does immediately switch into Monogear to mitigate that, to switch into a little bit more damage.
Yeah, that'll have a significant impact on what he can do.
It will, because ultimately what it does is that's a double heal comp, and losing half your mana as a Skald is a big thing.
Oh, it is, yeah. Yeah, they don't have the greatest mana to begin with, and Song of Healing is not a very easy spell to cast.
Yeah.
No, that's... Never mind, go ahead.
Oh, I do have the impression that Kimpaz is going to get to unload his mana over the course of this match, but Azzure and Kimpaz are both in red. They're taking a ton of damage here.
Yeah, Kimpaz will probably be looking just to dump that mana as fast as he can the way this is going.
But he's just getting hurt. I mean, he's taking all of this damage. Azzure is also being focused down here. A huge round goes off on him.
Ooh, yeah.
And he has not fled yet. He is stunned.
He is
That was a fast kill.
That is a very fast kill on a very impactful member.
This is what we have talked about for so many seasons, is that KCS, if they can corner you, they can just, plow through your team.
Oh, it's true. They just zero you out. The stun combinations they have on that team, and even Merilith, with his racing class there, he's not just a caster. He's a pretty decent hitter once the stuns are out.
Now, the key for them is going to be to, if they kill another player, If they kill another player, then Slann is going to have to step it up and make some chokes, especially on people like Bodrum, who does not have the Draco yet, so that's completely doable. And they're in the blue flag room, so they could cap, but Stars is not going to make it easy for them.
No, and Bodrum never does. I mean, he's in red health now, but that's utterly meaningless because, well, for two reasons, right? First of all, just because of the withstand death, but then, of course, because of his rather large health and mana pools. So,
one thing that Grendel has said on the cast is that if they're already doing damage to Bodrum, he presses it forward. He does not flee and try to get a choke. He just continues to do damage to him, because if you get Bodrum into wimpy status, he's less of a problem. You can blind and wimpy him off, and then he's left on his own for a little bit.
Yeah, and I also think like we've had very limited success, but we've had success in the past before of just trying to layer. Oh, Kimpaz goes down. Tyrcell is very low as well,
yes,
though.
Tyrcell he is in off status. And Bodrum is still able to interrupt. This is going to be an interesting situation, because what's happening is that they are... The kills are being staggered by accident because Stars is interrupting, but KCS has not gotten a single cap off because of the interrupts.
Yeah.
Now, if Slann can start to choke Bodrum off these wimpies, then something serious can happen here.
Yeah, they would be able to take complete control of the match if they can start getting that down. They don't seem to be quite there yet.
No, they seem to just be doing damage, which this can go either way. It's more that what Stars always does when they die like this, they did this to Hydra, and they got a win off it. Their only win against Hydra this season. Bodrum
goes down. Okay.
So they are all dying at once without the cap being picked up. Kimpaz died fairly early, so what he does is he runs the cap a lot of the time, and then Stars is able to get momentum to make a 3-2 counter.
Yeah, and with them all going down so quickly, KCS is going to have to get on that flag. They are not going to have much of an advantage.
And they can choke Szy'gash. Like he can't do anything if nobody but Slann is in that room. Szy'gash hits him, then he flees and rechokes. So you know this is an assassin. It's fairly easy to do in that flag room because you only have the one direction to go. Grendel picks up the flag.
Is that the first time we've seen Grendel with the flag this season?
I know that he's picked it up before. I can't remember what season it was, but essentially he's just trying to get it, because anybody who can pick up that flag is what they want to do. They just need to get something across here. It's not like they're going to meet counter pressure at this point. Yeah.
So Slann did get Szy'gash down, but it was right before the tick, so that did not last. Szy'gash was straight back up.
Now, they may be able to successfully stagger Sygash's skills so that they are facing 3. The problem is that all of KCS is hurt, so then when the double mage comes out, and they're going to do a lot of damage. They may wipe KCS, so it's very important that KCS doesn't let Stars get the flag if they know they're going to die.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's doubly true, just like you said, with the types that are coming out. It's not just a full team coming out, it's teams coming out with massive abilities to do damage through mana dumps.
Yeah, so now we are just waiting. This is a little bit of the slow process that we always talk about, which is that Szy'gash is out of the picture at the moment, and they are just running the flag. Grendel is slowly moving across. I'm just picturing an enormous troll holding a tiny flag.
Yeah, just taking one labored step at a time.
It's a good way to put it. Tyrcell is hungry. He does eat Kimpaz's leg, which is, probably like mutton a little bit.
I would imagine so. It couldn't be the worst. I mean, a little bit of beef leg there.
Beef is amazing. Like, why wouldn't you eat Kimpaz?
I wish I was in the game. I could use a little beef. So Tyrcell does grab the second flag. He must have healed up enough to their satisfaction, or I guess they'll be able to.
No, he's just got the cap, I believe. I think they know they can make it across.
The Kimpaz should be out, but
Kimpaz
it'll be
was
a question
the
of
second to die. I think it will be Azzure who is out first.
Yeah.
Azzure can still do something, though.
Right, but I don't think Tyrcell is as vulnerable to Azzure as he would be to Kimpaz. So.
Yeah. And let me think. It's interesting that they chose the Skald. I mean, Skalds obviously have great defenses, but they also chose the Rooster to pick up the flag. I think what they're thinking is, oh, it's the second cap. We stack. We usually get it off in time.
Yeah, and that potentially could come back to bite them. I do think Azzure will be out in time because it took them so long to get that first one.
Well, let's take a look. He is already in 30-yard marker. He's got 12 seconds. If Azzure is, in fact, out on the stick, I think they'll be able to rescue him across.
I think so, actually. Yeah, you're right. With the amount of time there, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to make one more room before the tick hits. He'll already be at the 10. Yeah, Azzure is out. He is in the blue flag room. Tyrcell is already in his... Oh, Grendel was out there to interrupt him. That was very smart. They knew Azzure was coming out, so they just caught him.
Yeah, Slann missed the strangle on Azzure, but then... Yeah, okay, so Bodrum is back out as well then.
All right.
But they get the cap, so that's 2-0.
Now, Kimpaz picks up the flag. That's not good at all.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of trouble with that.
Yeah, very smart move by Kimpaz. He just snuck in there. And the issue is obviously if KCS knows they're hurt, the mages will whop them. They need to die now. Otherwise, they're going to get 3-2'd.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to die now in order to be back in time to stop that third cap and get their own. Because I don't believe they're going to compete against this lineup here.
Mm-hmm. Now, possibly, you know, I've thought about this season is that not all of your team has to die necessarily. A lot of the times you can leave one person in there who has a lot of utility who can try to get something going. If Slann is in yellow, if he's not that hurt, then he could run some interference while his team repops. That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And he would be, perhaps anyway, the ideal candidate.
And Kimpaz is already in red. Are you seeing this?
Yeah, that is a lot of damage coming out. We may have underestimated KCS's ability to jump on him.
It's all Grendel. I mean, Kimpaz dies again with a full mana pool.
He didn't use much of his mana the first time around either. That is very big, yeah.
That is incredible. Grendel just raw-powered his way into a favorable deal.
Yeah, Stars jumped the gun, I guess. I mean, we both thought that Kimpaz grabbing the flag there was going to be big trouble, but Stars didn't have any backup for him, so he just goes straight down.
Essentially what happened there is that they knew they had to hit Kimpaz, and they had the raw power to just knock the Minotaur around. The troll can just control him. So if Stars think that they don't need to provide support, I mean, maybe in that case, you know, if KCS is waiting for you in the flag room, you try to move around, keep your mobility, and then dump some cones, and then once they're dead, you go ahead for the cap.
Yeah, that may have been...
You know, it's always team dependent. It's really a matter of how teams are against other teams. It's really rock paper scissors to an extent. Strategy is involved here more than any other format, but it's still a little bit of that. And whereas that flag cap would work against Brutes or Hydra as healing comps, it did not work against Grendel.
Right, just with, like you said, the massive damage output, the massive stun ability. Yeah, the
Spirit of Protection does come out. And what that does is, I believe, they've used this before. Bodrum just chains around Szy'gash. Szy'gash did pick up the flag as well. So Merilith does go down there. So essentially what's happening is they're still, let's see, they're in 40-yard red. And what that means is that Szy'gash has not gotten far into blue. So if they die, it's not that bad. They would still get a chance to come out and do something. But that was clever because Kimpaz died, and then what they did as the secondary strategy is when Szy'gash casts Spirit of Protection, Bodrum can stay in the same room with him and then chain all of KCS around him while he runs the flag.
Okay, and because of Spirit of Protection, does that break the group, or can he even stay in group because of that?
I don't even think that it breaks the group. I could be wrong on that because I haven't tested it myself, but...
I imagine if there was few enough people that it put you into melee on him, it would break it. But
well, essentially what happens is it doesn't initiate combat on your group, right? So, so I don't believe that it would break group. Szy'gash is hurt though. If they can get a kill on Szy'gash, this is pretty big.
Oh, Tyrcell goes down though.
Yeah, Slann and Grendel still are the brunt of the melee, and they're still hitting Szy'gash, and Bodrum is not going to be able to heal him, obviously. Yeah, exactly. And Szy'gash doesn't have his weapon anymore either, so he's not going to be mitigating a lot here. Grendel is on Bodrum though, so I think Grendel is stunning Bodrum, and he does force him into Wimpy there.
Already wimpying, yep. And Grendel's going to be able to stay on top of that most likely, which means Szy'gash should be going down here before too long, and that should be game.
Yeah.
Oh, Slann goes down. Okay.
Yeah, so it's only Grendel on Szy'gash now. It is a question of whether he can kill them. All 3 stars are against Grendel right now, so he has the die here, but it's not a bad thing. What they've done is they've bought a couple of ticks doing this for the other team members that come out, and they've hurt stars.
Yeah, they've slowed it down quite a bit for sure. Yeah, and put serious damage onto stars too, not just something superficial, not just time delay, but
yeah, Szy'gash really is still engaged. That rescue did not do it. The zombie will rescue here, and then Szy'gash will move. No, he is not rescuing it. Grendel does wimpy off the
zombie, yeah.
He does go right back to Szy'gash, and Szy'gash did not move. He does move there into the blue finally.
Yeah, I'm a little confused about that. Maybe he just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe he was healing in the process because Grendel is doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, so with the lag, Grendel had time to get back on.
Now Grendel is wimping Bodrum off. Bodrum is hitting for a lot more and wimping Grendel as well. Grendel will die here, and Szy'gash will probably catch a tick. Another tick passes by without a capture by Szy'gash. And it's important to note that this is only capture 1 for stars. KCS is going to come back. The Death Shroud does come up as well. I'm not sure that that's actually a great move. It depends on when KCS comes out, because they kind of did it prematurely.
Yeah,
I guess he had to, though. I mean, it's 12 o'clock, right? So he had to.
And
he
is
had to do
Bodrum,
it.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it will be obviously. Oh, and the blind comes out onto Grendel as well. So Grendel right now is neutralized entirely against Bodrum.
He is, and Kimpaz is going to stack. They know that they got to get something going out. The next tick is coming. Grendel does cleanse. I don't think he gets the blind off, though.
No, didn't get the blind. And that's a 2-round lag on the cleanse, so that won't be a quick process either.
Yeah. It is interesting, though, because yes, he does get the blind there. Yes, you are blocking Grendel from coming out with the rest of the team, but Slann and Tyrcell still have plenty of damage. Stars is hurt, and basically Grendel has stopped this a couple of ticks now, so his team is going to come out right around the end of the second capture, but before the third, I believe.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Merilith was delayed a little bit longer than... There's a slight stagger there, but nothing too massive.
Well, Grendel stayed on Szy'gash for a few ticks, and Szy'gash did not move out of the room in quite a timely manner. So I do believe that KCS is going to come out.
And Bodrum does get the Dracolich gearing up here, and he's getting healed by Kimpaz. So we'll see. Maybe Stars can recover enough to weather the onslaught from KCS when they come back out.
And this is the big moment. This is essentially what's going to happen is we're going to see the second clash here. They're both going to get 2 caps off this, I believe. The tick is coming up in 12 seconds. I think that KCS has to be up by now. It seems like it's been enough time that at least a couple of them are ready, but they're probably waiting to go out as a team of 3 at least.
Exactly, yeah. At this point, if we haven't seen them, I think they must be waiting for Merilith. So that is the 2. And now we are just waiting on...
They are out.
Okay, they're out, yep.
Merilith and Tyrcell are both out.
Merilith goes down right away.
Now, Szy'gash does pick up the flag. Oh, Tyrcell Roosters. So they did not choke the Skald, which means no downtime on that.
Right, okay, perfect.
They do get on Szy'gash right away. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to do this without the Troll. The Troll is able to mitigate Bodrum quite well, and we've seen it in this match. But if they can just delay Szy'gash long enough, that could be big.
Now, the Dracolich is already doing some significant damage there. So, yeah, it will be interesting how much pressure Bodrum can put on the 3 KCS members.
So
I thought that was interesting.
A lot of damage. They blinded the rescue.
They did, and I'm not sure why Kimpaz went for the Diamond Golem instead of the Egg.
I don't know either, but Szy'gash is being tripped, and he's taking a lot of damage here. Azzure is doing damage as well, but if Szy'gash dies, then they ultimately neutralize that cap.
Yeah, that's a lot more big damage out onto him.
And I also want to say that Szy'gash has to be relatively low on mana at this point.
Yeah, did he... No, he... Okay, he did go down in the first fight, but yeah, he's been out healing for quite a while.
Now, they know that they have to get Szy'gash down, but they can't die either. And Slann did dip into red there just from the acid. Szy'gash does die.
They do get the Szy'gash down, and they
So
should
now
be fine.
Slann can flash the flag room and prevent it. They are almost certainly... Kimpaz is already going for the flag. He's in the flag room. So now it's time for Slann to flash. There he goes. There's the flash. Kimpaz is initiated into combat.
We'll see if he gets all the right targets. That's a lot of Charmers in there as well. And I can say, with chagrin, you do not always get who you need to get with flash.
You would know. Hey, I would know. I played your role S4. But
that's right, absolutely.
But the way that you can tell if it hits is if Kimpaz is in combat the next rounds.
Right.
So we will see. If we're not seeing his name come up, then we know that he's probably going to get that cap.
Yeah.
But if they can delay for Grendel, that's going to be very good for KCS.
Okay, there's the Jeweled Egg Golem coming out. That makes more sense. Even with the saves alone, to preserve the rescue off of it, it seems to make more sense.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind just how much more powerful it is anyway.
Now the tick is coming up here. I wonder how long Grendel has left before he gets out there and joins his team. I do believe that the longer Stars waits, the worse situation for them. Kimpaz does pick up the flag.
I think so. I think Stars needed to force the advantage that they had before Grendel got
is
back
out.
And
Grendel
he is out.
So now it's all a matter of if Stars can delay this. Bodrum does still have Shroud, but if they can get on Kimpaz, we've seen what Grendel can do to him.
Absolutely. Now, the betting window closes late, but I don't think we're at a point in the game where any late bettors have an advantage anyway.
No, certainly not. Now, Azzure and Slann are both in red. The Assassins are trying to choke each other. Azzure failed his first. Grendel is getting on Kimpaz. He does dip him into yellow just then, but the other melee need to be on him. Bodrum is being wimpied, though. Or no, maybe not wimpy, but he's in red, so he could be.
Now, a lot of damage went out onto the Golem.
Kimpaz is in red already. It's just not... I mean, it's not okay to have that troll on you. Merilith knows that Kimpaz is going to go down, and he's already going for the cap. Kimpaz gets disarmed. He does not pick up the weapon. He does get it there.
But he will continue to take a lot of damage.
And if they kill him, that's enormous for KCS. And he does go down. He does go down.
Yeah, that has always been the weakness of the Minotaur Evoker. It's extremely strong against small races and against mages, but against any substantial hitters, especially with a stun, they really do not. They don't defend. They don't survive very well.
Power swing is incredibly powerful against typically powerhouse race comps like that.
Oh yeah.
And I do want to say that Bodrum did get withstand triggered there, and even with Death Shroud, the fact that he's wimping is very good for KCS. He can't do as much when he's blind. He's thrown into a little bit of confusion there.
Yeah, exactly. Like you mentioned before, once he's blind and he starts wimping, he can't control where he is anymore, in a timely fashion anyway.
And Merilith is marching the flag across. I am not seeing any activity in KCS's flag room.
Bodrum looks to be hunting perhaps Merilith. I'm not too sure here.
Now, the next move is that when Szy'gash is available, he's going to go for a cap because he has no choice.
And Tyrcell does get strangled, so now if Azzure can get anyone else, they'll actually stick.
Azzure is doing what he can, but Merilith is still moving, and he is 10-yard red. He is 2 rooms away. He is a red goal line. They don't have time. This is going to be the rescue that wins the match. That's the rescue. Okay, one more off the top of the chain. That's it. That's got to be it.
I don't know how Merilith is staying in combat here.
No, he's Ray of Truthing. Why aren't you moving?
Maybe they just want to kill Bodrum or make him wimpy.
If they wimpy him, that works. Bodrum does go down. This is it.
So Merilith.
Congratulations to KCS.
Well done, KCS, taking the first game in the playoff series.
The underdogs take control of the first match. They need one more win to go to the finals for Season 6.
Yeah, that's right. KCS is now 1 game away. And when is the next game played? Is that Tuesday?
That is Tuesday. Tuesday night.
Yeah. And, I mean, that comes back to what we were saying before. Based on their records, this was an upset victory. But it really wasn't from the point of view of the teams themselves and what we've seen them be capable of. It was a very even match, and we did see KCS come ahead here in a fairly strong fashion.
Yes, it's a bit sophistic because, like you said, we didn't see KCS's star lineup, and then the time that we did, they did a very similar thing to what they did tonight here. I think that if Stars want to compete versus KCS, they need to rethink their strategy, because what they have done is Kimpaz has always been the flag carrier, and then Szy'gash is the secondary carrier.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one thing that I would have done differently personally is when Kimpaz came out, I would have tried to dump my mana at least a few rounds before I capped the flag immediately, because what it did was he got stun locked with 2 to 3 people on him, and he just lost that entire mana pool.
Exactly, and I think he's used to other teams where he can save the mana for when he is carrying the flag, and he can just unload. I mean, that's what we had Zudum do on Brute Squad for a couple seasons there, is just put him on the flag and let him chain or let him cone whoever comes after him. But like you're saying, especially against somebody like Grendel, you just can't get away with that. He will stun lock you and he will punish you hard with melee. So I think you're right, and he should have dumped that mana quite a bit earlier in the match. Both of his lives, really. You know, the first time out and the second time out, he should have tried to apply that damage onto KCS, get them on the back foot.
And of course, it's always 2020 in hindsight, but it's a costly mistake in playoffs. Even if it's the first time you've made it, it's costly because you only get 2 chances.
Yeah, so Stars doesn't get to screw up anymore. I was about to break the rules here, but no.
Tuesday
Stars
is going to
has
be
do it
sudden
perfect.
death for the Stars Dynasty, so we will see how that goes Tuesday night at 8:30. I do want to say that tomorrow night we will be hosting the live owners meeting. We're going to try to get as many owners as we can in the stream. Each owner is assigned 2 questions to ask another owner, and we are just going to have a casual discussion about the season and expectations.
Very interesting. I like that. That should be fun. Will that be around the same time tomorrow then?
It will be tomorrow night at 8:30, same time as ACFL.
Perfect. All right, I look forward to it.
That is it for this super week, but I do want to thank Ardict for coming on to cast with me. It's always great to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Rekla. I appreciate it. It was a good time, and that was a very fun match to watch here.
It certainly was, and congratulations to KCS for taking number 1 of the playoffs matches. All right, have a good night.
Have a good night.